The brink of bankruptcy. We are $14.4 trillion in debt. We don't have a balanced budget. And on top of that, the government is using taxpayer money, your money, to bail out foreign countries. But right now, a group of Republican senators is fighting back. Earlier today, we caught up with one of those senators, Utah Senator Orrin Hatch. Senator, nice to see you, sir.
Well, nice to see you, Greta.
All right, you have introduced an amendment that limits the IMF's ability to bail out foreign countries, specifically Greece. Is that right?
Well, all of Europe's upset about it because they've already bailed out Greece to the tune of, I think, $145 billion. Now they want another $108 billion, and the United States is the largest contributor to IMF. And, you know, we've reached a point where we can't just keep bailing everybody out in this world, and frankly, our country is going to be stuck for a lot of Greece's debt anyway, because a lot of our banks have a high percentage of Greece debt.
All right, so there are two issues as I see it. One is, you know, us dishing out the money and not having the money. The second thing is if we don't, and if Greece goes under, what's the impact on the United States? And so we can do sort of a cost-benefit analysis, figuring out which we're worse off with.
Well, Greece is already under. They're already having difficulty, and they don't seem to want to get things under control. There's all kinds of rebellion over there going on, and they've been profligate in everything they've done. They brought this on themselves, and everybody in Europe, from what I know about it, is upset about it because they know they're just going to keep pouring money into Greece that is seemingly unwilling to do what had to be done. Now, Papandreou has done some good things there, but you know, has it been anywhere near enough? And the answer to that is no.
What I understand about the problem, what's sort of one of the driving forces with Greece's problem, is the fact that there's so much tax evasion there. They don't collect taxes, and now that there's sort of a drive to be an austerity program, the people have actually taken to the streets because they don't want to, for instance, lower the threshold for which they have to pay taxes.
The problem is that so many people are on the dole in the Greek government. Hey, we're getting there too. It used to be only 40% of all households didn't pay income taxes in this country. In just 2 years under Obamacare, it's now up to 51%. I mean, you start adding that up, then they're headed towards 60%, which is, by the way, Europe revisited. That's what this administration is doing. They're doing exactly the same thing that the profligate people did in Greece. As a matter of fact, we just heard yesterday that by 2035, if we follow the Obama approach that's happening right now, our debt will be 190% of GDP. I mean, Greece right now is somewhere around 150%. That gives you a little bit of perspective of what's going to happen to us, and yet they call upon us at the IMF to continue to come up with billions and billions and billions of dollars when we have our own economic difficulties to handle. Then again, the Europeans don't know what to do either because they don't want to pay anymore, but they're afraid that if Greece goes down, a lot of other countries will too.
So if Greece does go down, there's sort of a ripple effect in Europe, and there's some impact on us with our banks. You have any sort of assessment of what the impact realistically will be on us?
Well, it's more than just some impact, because some estimate that our banks hold as much as 54% of the Greek debt. Now, I don't know that it's that high, but I've been trying to find the exact figure, but it's high.
So what do we? So if the IMF doesn't contribute this money, and Greece does go under, has a huge impact on us. If we do contribute this money, the IMF does, with our share, will Greece come out of their problem?
Well, there's no indication that the people of Greece are going to live within careful restraints. And you know, if the United States keeps giving money through IMF, when we have our banks holding a high percentage of Greek debt, and not only Greek debt, but Portugal's debt, estimated 49%, as much as 49% of that. Ireland's debt, 24%. I mean, when does it end?
Well, should we accept the fact that Greece is going under? That if the IMF says no to the money, we should accept the fact that Greece goes under, because Greece is not likely, has not at least has demonstrated fiscal responsibility.
It may be the only way that Greece will ever wake up and realize that they've got to live within certain constraints, and they've got to revamp their whole form of government, because there are just too many people on the dole there. And the United States is going the same direction under this administration. I mean, I've just said that 41% of all U.S. households didn't pay income taxes when President Obama took over. In 2 years now, that's up to 51%. And it's going higher. Now, are we doing the same thing that Greece is doing? And then I just told you, 190% of GDP? By 2035, if we keep on this current Obama schedule? I mean, when are we going to wake up and realize we can't live with that and remain even partially the greatest country in the world. We're hurting ourselves. And so sooner or later we got to say, hey, the game's up. We're not going to finance the rest of the world. And already people are saying, let's pull our troops back, let's do a lot of other things, let's quit some of our foreign policy. Well, we have responsibilities, but we're going to have to make sure that the rest of the world understands that there's only a limit to what the United States can do.
What do you think President Obama thinks about your amendment?
Well, he's always catering to the Europeans. I mean, President Obama basically, I think, would like us to be like Europe. Everything he's done has moved us towards Europeanization of our economy. So I don't know what he thinks, but I know what he's doing. And it's detrimental to our economy. Frankly, we'd be doing him a big favor if this amendment passed, because then he could say, well, the dumb Congress shouldn't have done that.
Senator, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Nice to see you.